Hi guys, welcome back. Here I am riding the best wheel Begode ever made. I have just hit the 800 km mark and I think it's a fair bit amount of time for me to share my personal verdict on what is this EXN all about. During the pre-launching period, there are so many funny names on this wheel. Some call it the Sherman Killer, some call it the big brother of the RS, or some call it the mini monster. Let's find out at the end of the video where does EXN stands. Let me be very honest with you. The moment I unboxed this wheel, I sort of hate it. It is big and bulky, it is heavy, it hurts my back by just carrying out of the box, if you know what I mean. So first thing first, let's look at the specs. I'm really impressed with what Begode has to offer this round on the EXN. It has a massive 2700 watt hour of battery, 2800 watt of motor, and it was rated has a higher speed compared to the Sherman. Okay, unlike the RS, the EXN offer no option like the high speed version or the high torque. It only has the C30, which is the high speed. This video is done by our Malaysian speed demon. His name is Nas, and he did 80 kilometers per hour. Bear in mind, his weight is 120 kg, so he is a very heavy rider, and riding EXN on that speed has no problem. So guys, if you're a heavy rider but at the same time you love speed, EXN is definitely for you. Okay guys, next I would like to share my experience on seated riding on EXN. Okay, before I go into detail, you know, whenever I post any seated riding on EUC, I do get a lot of negative comments, negative feedback. They tell me, oh, you know, you shouldn't be sitting on EUC, it is not so nimble, you cannot brake efficiently, it is slower, you need to anticipate further ahead. And yes, I do agree to some certain extent on the disadvantages of what people tells me. However, it is very fun. Okay, I just love the way it feels whenever I ride seated on EUC. You just have to be more careful, look further ahead, and yeah, be prepared to brake earlier. I started seated riding on the Gotway MSX. It was great overall, and after that I moved on to Kingsong 16X. Oh boy, it's another level. Okay, 16X makes you want to sit way longer compared to the MSX. Overall, a more pleasant experience until I met EXN. A whole new different experience. Okay, let me tell you more about it. I have been doing seated riding on these four wheels. Okay, this is the MSX. I started with this and I stayed on with this. This is a 16X, by the looks you can tell. And here comes the new contender. This is the EXN. I am doing fine on MSX, just that I have this problem. It is just too thin and hard. So I am doing 50-50 seated riding and standing on the MSX. I don't find it too comfort, but it's still bearable. When I tried the 16X, I stayed on it. You know, whenever on this day I want to do seated riding, I will pick this wheel. Okay, it is thick, it is comfortable, and finally, this is the new champion, the EXN. Okay, so what is so good about this seat? Okay, first thing, it has this special grip. Okay, if you're for those who do seated riding, occasionally your butt will, especially on 16X, occasionally your butt will be moving up and down. You will keep readjusting your butt to make sure your butt is firm there to be on the best position during seated riding. Okay, on this EXN, it solves everything. It solves, number one, the problem of the MSX. It is much thicker. Okay, as you can see, it's much thicker. Okay. Number 2, it has this back tilted a small angle, but it's good enough for you to implant your butt here. So when you're doing EXN seated riding, you have a very full control of the wheel, okay, and it doesn't just move you around. You will be sitting here with minimal adjustment. Trust me guys, you need to try to get what I mean. Another point that I would like to highlight on seated riding on this wheel is a very well balanced wheel. Okay, if you all notice, if it's a seated riding with easy moving forward, it is hard to brake, okay, and vice versa. If it's easy to brake, then you got to really lean forward a lot to get it moving forward. For EXN, it is very well balanced. It moves forward easily, at the same time it brakes very easily. I'm not sure if you guys can see this trail. It is actually a very hilly kind of trail, very steep hill, very steep climbing, and very steep descent. So, but I can't really tell by the video, but I'm sharing with you because I'm the one experiencing it. I'm the one doing this trail, and you can just see how easy I throw around this wheel. I can even brake confidently during the steep descent. I'm really impressed with how this wheel feels overall during seated riding. Okay, next I would like to share our range test result. Okay, it's a 50 km ride. We did about 35 to 50 km/h average speed. Sorry, I don't have 3 almost similar weight to do a better comparison. I only have 2 good friends with me, and as you can see from the result, it is almost there. 3 wheels are performing almost similarly. I cannot find any of the models that perform outstanding for me to shout out. So everything went as it is. We did a very simple light test just to see how it feels during a pitch black or pitch dark experience. And unfortunately, EXN did pretty bad on this test. I'm not sure what was Begode thinking. Okay, all the new generation wheels really perform very well, be it the RS, be it the Sherman, or the V11, or even the S18. One, two. Oi, 108 eh? Now I do setting already, 108 already. Same as EXN. 105. 105 นะ Okay, lastly, I would like to talk about the portability of EXN, comparing with the Sherman and the little brother RS. Okay, for me, the way of trolling EXN and Sherman is almost similar. It is a centered kind of a trolley. It is okay, it's not perfect. My perfect trolley is like the MCM5 or the 16X, is from the rear to the front kind of a trolley. However, this is still acceptable, but I hope it could be better in the future. It's still, no matter what, a big improvement comparing with the RS. I just hate how the trolley in RS works, trolling from the back. Okay, you cannot really push it very nimble. You got to stay upright, which sometimes may cause some minor accidents.
Bukan yang ni.
Go. Okay guys, if you are still watching this, thank you for following. Okay, and here I would like to give my final verdict of EXN. Normally wheels that are brought in by me within 1 week to 2 maximum, I will definitely give my review. But EXN really dragged me much longer than I anticipated. This wheel is just so much fun. I just want to keep riding. Okay, so what I dislike, I will still be carrying a torchlight during night rides. That's what I dislike. Okay, it is troublesome. Please just complete this weakness of EXN, Gotway or Begode, would you? It's just a very small thing. I mean, why can't you just put a brighter light? Okay. And another thing that I dislike is the mudguard. The installation is really troublesome. It's I don't know how to describe, but I just prefer a screwed in, a more solid kind of a design, if you know what I mean. And finally guys, let's move on to something positive. As I've mentioned at the beginning of the video, I hated this 33 kg weight of this wheel. But after riding for 800 km, I start to appreciate heavy wheels. It feels so planted on the ground whenever you push it, whenever you accelerate, whenever you do high speed. It feels so stable. This is why I was told Sherman is so stable, and a big reason of that, it's the heavy weight of the wheel. So guys, is this wheel better than the RS, or is it as good as the Sherman? All I can say is it is a much improved version compared to the RS. The only downside of this comparing to the RS is the weight. Other than that, every sectors, every areas, it is better than the RS. However, as comparing with the Sherman, I just can't find a clear winner. Perhaps just let me put it this way. If you love riding straight and you just love top speed, I feel Sherman is for you. If you love zigzagging, riding a long and winding road, I think you would probably prefer the EXN. However, it could be just the tire difference. Maybe swapping the tire, it will feel totally opposite. I'm not sure, I've not done that. Maybe in the future I would, and that time I might share with you guys. Overall, it is a very big improvement for Begode. I'm really proud that they made such a new breed of wheel. Okay, this is a new breed. Normally, if there is any new models, buyers would just pull their handbrake, just have a look and see, wait for the second and third generation for improvement. But no, this is the first generation. The moment it came out, I brought it in, and I'm very surprised with the overall build quality. The shell looks tougher, everything looks good, everything looks neat, and waterproofing has, I observed it is also, they have been planning ahead to see what are the points that a water entry should be concealed. Great job, Begode. Thanks for watching guys. Please subscribe if you haven't, and please follow us. We will do more content like this. I think our next video will be the Monster Pro, and I'm very excited for this 24-inch wheel. See you again. Thank you.